hosting 28 circular fashion entrepreneurs these days in Greece. They're traveling from Europe. It's an accelerator that's co-funded by the European Commission, ASME, the Agency for Innovation and Small Medium Enterprises. Most of you, we have all our 28 innovators with us. You can meet more and see more of them in the yard at the exhibition of circular fashion that we have set up. They can tell you more about their story and their innovation. During the Investors and Innovators session, we will have the opportunity to see the stories of 5 of the circular fashion entrepreneurs. And we will see a bigger spectrum of what circular fashion entrepreneurship is. So I would like to invite to the panel of investors, Dimitris Georgakopoulos, who is a green investor. Please join us. He's the founder of Helidoni Foundation, among other things. Yeah, you'll go. And he's also, we have the honor of having him as, he's a grand donor of Fashion Revolution Greece, Fashion Revolution Summer School Program. And we're very grateful for that. I would like to invite Guy Krief, impact investor, angel investor. He's invested in various companies, among them References, New York-based. I would like to invite to the panel Dora Trachana, from junior partner at Uni.fund, part of Equifund, a VC that mainly invests on tech and not only. You'll tell us more, Dora. And Leda Karabela, a Silicon Valley expert woman, our bridge to Silicon Valley. Thank you very much, Leda, for being here with us tonight. So thank you very much all. We're extremely grateful for finding the time to join us and to listen to the stories of these 5 fashion entrepreneurs. And then we'll have the chance to talk with you. And the rest of the cohort will pose their questions. I'm sure they have lots of it. Investment and funding for circular fashion is extremely important. So we're starting. We've lost some time. Do you want first maybe to say something about yourselves, and then we move on to the pitches? Shall we do like this? You have a microphone among the 2 of you. You press down, I think, this one, and you wait.
Can you hear? Yeah, now you can hear me. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Fiori. Half of my life I've been living in Silicon Valley, California. Half of my life I've been in London, in Dubai, in Athens, having been involved with the startup world and connecting the dots between funds and startup entrepreneurs. It's my pleasure to be here and see what you guys are doing. It's magnificent, because we are at a phase in the planet's life where things are getting scary. And you are the new breath and the new hope for something that's hopefully is going to change the way we do things. I'm looking forward to listening to you guys more than you are here to listen to me, because I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear your challenges, your issues. Okay, so.
So hello also from my side. Although half of my life I've been living next door, not in Silicon Valley or somewhere, a kilometer from here, I'm still delighted to be with you today, and thanks a lot for the invitation. The last 8 years I'm working on supporting young entrepreneurs across Europe, and especially, of course, in Greece during the last 5 years with the Uni.fund. And I'm really happy that I will have the opportunity today to listen to what you're doing and how we can help you.
First of all, thank you for the invite. I'm Guy. Spent all my career in technology, co-founded a couple of technology companies, now investors in another 10, 12, and recently stumbled upon, kind of like fashion, circular fashion and sustainable fashion through an investment that I made for a friend, and kind of got, kind of trapped in, and suddenly that opened my world. And I intend to become way more active, and I'm looking forward to see what you're all doing.
Hi, thank you for inviting me as well. I spent half my life in the US, in Boston, in the software world, technology. And having sold my business in 2019, I decided to do some investing and concentrating on two themes: zero emissions and zero waste in the circular economy. Here in Greece, we've made with a group of people, we've made our first investment just a year ago. So I'm kind of a newbie in the space, but I'm excited to listen to the pitches and help out in any way that I can.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Extremely grateful, and we'll like to welcome also our communities from Facebook and Instagram that they are able to join us from Fashion Revolution Greece channels. So I would like to welcome the first pitch. So Anna Masiello from R-Code.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna, and I'm a zero waste activist, content creator, and consultant. I'm Italian, and in 2017, I moved to Portugal to do a master's in environment and sustainability. And a few months after I moved, I adopted a zero waste lifestyle to reduce my negative impact on the planet. And that's when, on rainy days, I started noticing broken umbrellas everywhere. And thanks to zero waste, I saw them as something very valuable and not as trash. So I had absolutely to find a solution. I bought a sewing machine. I spent many hours watching sewing tutorials, and I made a very simple jacket using 3 broken umbrellas. And I called it R-Code. The R represents all the values of zero waste with a focus on rethinking waste, reducing, repurposing. Did you know that more than 1 billion umbrellas go to waste every year? That's the equivalent weight of 70,000 elephants. Is enough to build 25 Eiffel Towers, and the fabric is enough to cover a city like New York City. And on top of this, the fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries in the world, and every second, one garbage truck full of clothes ends up in a landfill or burnt. Our solution is to make fashion a little more circular and reintroduce broken umbrellas into the loop, transforming them into beautiful garments. At R-Code, we made jackets, hats, shorts, and now bags that reduce waste. They're made with the water-resistant fabric of the umbrellas on the outside and that stock fabric on the inside. They're functional, colorful, but timeless for people that prioritize sustainability in their fashion purchases. Our business model is circular and based on the community. So everything starts with our amazing umbrella heroes that save the umbrellas and drop them off at our collection points, giving us the chance to reintroduce this material into the market. We transform it into high quality pieces that we sell online at rcode.com and in a few selected shops. So far, we saved more than 2,000 umbrellas from waste. We opened more than 30 collection points in Portugal and Italy, and we have a community of almost 150,000 followers between R-Code social media and my personal zero waste Instagram and TikTok. We launched our very first fashion collection just 1 year ago in May, and we already sold all over Europe, North America, and we're always expanding. Just a few days ago, we sold our first hat in Dubai, which was a very exciting accomplishment. Our competitors are brands that use recycled materials and brands that make garments for the rain. We, though, are quite different because we're not just a fashion brand. We're also the only collection and recycling service for umbrellas in Portugal and Italy. We tackle an environmental problem because our products are designed to reduce waste, and we're also an educational project with the goal to empower people to become active agents of change. The team is made up of myself, zero waste activist, influencer, and consultant, and Yasmin Medeiros, branding, marketing, and sustainable fashion consultant. We work with a designer and a team of seamstresses near Lisbon, Portugal, and are supported by a great group of advisors. With your support, we could finally get a space to organize all our material and make the process more efficient. We could start producing with a small factory in Lisbon and increase our production, and we could also have new team members that would also allow us to grow our positive impact. So now you know, next time that that your umbrella breaks, don't throw it away. You can give this to us and we can reduce waste together. Thank you.
Excellent, and congratulations for the 4 minutes, right on time.
Yes.
So it's back to you for your feedback and questions.
What do you do with the wiring of the umbrellas?
So with the plastic parts, we are making coasters, and I'm planning to melting it into other products. And thanks to Small But Perfect, which is this program, we are right now testing the melting of the metal into jewelry.
What is your biggest challenge?
I would say material enough to scale. The umbrellas are imperfect because they're broken, so they have holes, they have stains, they have scratches, and they're not like meters and meters of plain, beautiful fabric, so it's very difficult to work with, and that's why we believe that to scale up, we need to introduce new material, new waste. For example, we want to work with big shops like Decathlon and give a new life to their tents or to all the bigger pieces of fabric that they have that they would otherwise throw away. Prego.
Where's the location where you refurbish the umbrellas?
Where
In
we
Portugal?
transform them
I
in
mean-
Portugal, yeah, near Lisbon.
Okay, and you said that you also have collection points in Italy.
Yeah.
So you transfer them from Italy to Portugal. Have
We do.
you ever concluded any, let's say, relative study on the CO2 emissions for this transmission?
We haven't done it yet, but that's the reason why we only opened the collection points in Italy, in my hometown. Why? Because it's easy for me to transport the material so far while I move between Italy and Portugal. We believe that if we want to expand the collection and recycling service, we will probably need to transform this project into a franchise and start also like production in different places where we're collecting the material.
First of all, congrats on the pitch. Great
Thank you.
pitch. I would like to understand a little bit the unit economics. So how much does it cost taking everything in, collection and everything? How much does it cost to produce a piece of garment? And what's your margin to sell?
Yeah, this is actually a very frustrating topic because people are always asking, if you get free material, how come the product is expensive? And we have to explain that yes, the material is free, but it takes so long to collect, to cut, to wash, to iron, to do the quality control, to see where the holes are and mark them before we do the puzzling of the colors, sending it to the seamstress. And then they also have, to do a very crafty, artisanal work. So for example, for a coat, just the seamstress, we pay 25 euros for a coat. But the transportation we calculated for one umbrella is 5 euro between the collection points to us, from us to the seamstress. So transportation for one coat is another 25 euros. We're already at 50. Then we have to calculate all our the parts of cutting, washing, etc. And with taxes as well, we pay around 100 euros just of costs. But on our site, we have a page called Cost Structure, because for us, transparency is super important, where we show all the costs. And yeah, we hope to also raise awareness on the real cost of fashion.
So sorry, I'm bad at mathematics. So how much does it cost? How much do you sell?
We sell one coat, we sell it for 185, and it's a little more than 100 to produce.
Okay. And how do you manage, like, what you're collecting is random, right? Whatever, you're collecting trash, essentially, like umbrellas that are broken.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to then produce, collections that actually have, it's like similar pieces of clothes?
They're unique. So we don't have like
All right.
5 of the same coat. This is a differentiating factor between us and other brands. Like our pieces are artisanal, they're unique, they're a statement piece. Not everyone will spend this amount of money for a coat made from umbrellas, but our audience are people that value sustainability, value zero waste, and want a statement piece that they can be proud of. They want to go out and say, this is made from umbrellas. Like, it's 5 different umbrellas. You see the different colors, the different texture, maybe this tiny imperfection, and yeah.
Okay, and so right now you're raising funds. Can you tell us, I don't know if that's the context, but like how much you're raising and what do you want to do with that amount?
I would say that our goal is 150K in order to, the presentation is not that, but in order to rent a space, because right now we're still in the beginning, and can you imagine 2,000 umbrellas in my garage? It's not easy. So we need a space to rent, to organize all the material and make it efficient so that we can cut on costs. We need new team members, especially for the financial parts, because I'm also very bad at math. So we need someone that is good at it. And we need to start producing in a small factory, because right now we work with individual seamstresses, but it's too artisanal, it's too expensive. So the funds that we need to raise is to cover these 3 main topics.
Congratulations, great pitch and amazing idea. Very inspiring. You'll probably need a little more than 150,000 to get the factory and a few people. But I'm very excited to see the progress you guys will make.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If we can leave the presentations on for the whole 10 minutes per project. Thank you. So now moving to the next, to the next page. So it's Florian from Co-Dressing. So we're going to hear something different.
So hi, I'm Florian. I'm the founder of Co-Dressing. So where does it come from? So basically I studied in Berlin and I studied the sharing economy and the fashion industry. And it gave me this idea to open a traditional, sustainable shop in Berlin. And quickly I noticed that 6 women out of 10 that were coming to our shop wanted to rent a dress, for example, to save money, but also because they didn't want to wear always the same outfit. And we also had women that started to ask us if we were taking their items that they were having at home and not wearing. So basically I've decided to kind of move from a traditional business model to more a startup model. So I onboarded my web developer with me. And we tried to tackle those problems. We were kind of tackling them. The fact that women have a limited budget for new designer clothes, and they have also too many clothes at home. And we also noticed that actually a third problem kind of appeared on the market, because the market is changing right now, and that brands were also coming to us because they feel that they need to pivot right now. So we aim to change the way how women consume fashion toward sustainability. So our concept is simple. It's a leasing service for women to rent designer clothes and wedding dresses also, with a purchase option. So rent it, bring it back, or keep it forever. Regarding our solution, so women can rent for 1 day, but they can also subscribe to our membership system. So they pay a monthly fee and get up to 5 items. And whenever they want, they can swap or they can buy. Of course, longer they have the item, cheaper it is to buy. And as we have a big vision, we already started to think about additional services, so that we started to develop already the fact that women can also rent out or sell their own items through our peer-to-peer platform or via la conciergerie. So they bring the item to us and we do everything for them. And we have the same model for brands. So in terms of traction, after almost a year of activity, we have around 100 clients at our shop. We have around 100 users on our website, and we have 500 people that subscribe to our newsletter. And we already have 10 women that subscribe to our membership, and it's not online. And I really want to emphasize that this is really an organic growth and without any marketing. Which is also why we need to raise funds. We also have tractions in terms of partners. So for example, we succeeded in less than 6 months to get like 100 customers for La Conciergerie, so women bringing items to us. So around 100K value of stock. And we already have more than 10 brands on board, 10 brands that are also ready to sign. And we are also, for example, in process with brands like Michael Kors that are also willing to work with us. So the market is basically growing for like rentals and also second-hand. So in terms of revenue streams, we have like the one-time rentals, the membership system, also the sales, and the service fee commissions that we take when women rent out items through our service. In terms of competition, I would say that what makes the difference right now, it's really our physical store, because we really get quick feedbacks from women, so it's really good to pivot quite fast. And our competitive advantage, I would say it's really the fact that there is written smart fashion in our logo, and it means what it means. The fact that women can either rent if they wear once or twice, or they can buy if they plan to wear it like every day. For the team, so there is myself more like in the business development and fashion with the fashion expertise, and Sajad that has like 15 years of experience in web development. And we are here, so right now our goal is to raise funds, like to push our membership and to create our mobile app. And in the future, of course, we would like to develop step by step, like conciergeries, the peer-to-peer marketplace. So what we are looking for right now, it's around 250K, and it's mainly for product development and business development. Of course, we are also looking for like mentoring and coaching, which is very important. And I am done. I try to be as quick as possible. Thank you.
Dimitris, shall we start?
Congratulations. Where is your shop again? In
Berlin. Our
Berlin.
shop is in Berlin.
Okay. Is it at a area where there's a lot of traffic, or?
Yeah, so actually we are like in the, if you know Berlin, I don't know, in the Eckische Höfe. It's like a very touristic area. So on one side it can be problematic, for example, because you want local to develop the membership system, but it's also good because you notice also like that it's a concept that can scale, because like people coming from Barcelona or Vienna or whatever, they're always asking, do you have a shop in our city? And you're like, no, not now. But yeah, it would be nice to have more shops also, mainly because it also makes sense in terms of carbon footprint, like to have like a physical point where women can come to pick up an order.
Can you talk a little more about your 3 or 5 year vision? Where do you see the company going there?
So, like as I said, right now we really would like to push further the membership system, because we see that like women, our customers are asking for it, and also La Conciergerie that we started to develop. So in the next years, it would be nice, as I said, to have like maybe another physical shop in France, because we are mainly in Germany and France right now, and it would make sense also like in terms of cost reductions to be there. Yeah, you want it in terms of numbers or?
That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question. What's the percentage of online e-shop versus the physical store in Berlin? That's question number one.
Yeah. So far we mainly had the shop, like the website. We launched it like very recently, and so right now it's more like around 60% the shop and 40% online. But yeah, we are at the beginning of the website right now.
And where do the customers come from? Are they Germans? I mean, or is it all over Europe? And how do you manage the logistics? How do you send the merchandise, the dresses or whatever, to the customers?
Yeah, so it's mainly German customers that we have, and I would say also mainly women in Berlin, especially when they come for events and, for example, for a wedding dress, they come to the shop. But we also have women in France. In terms of ratio, it's mainly those two countries. So it's like I would say 70% Germans and 30% French women right now. Sorry. And logistics. So far for France, for example, we ship, and that's also why it would be nice to have like if it's not a shop, at least like a pickup point or like a spot where first you can reduce the cost, and it also makes sense in terms of sustainability, as you can question the fact that rental services maybe are not so sustainable. So,
give me an idea. Let's say a dress, a wedding dress, costs, if you buy it brand new, costs, let's say, what, 2,000, 3,000 euros? Yeah. So if I rent it for the weekend, because I've got my wedding, what would be the price differential? What would you rent it for?
Yeah, so if we take, for example, a wedding dress, it's in average 2,000 euros, what we sell. It will cost around 500 to 600 euros to rent. We also offer the possibility to do like some alteration when it's possible. So we have like a sewing partner for that. When it's not like, because they can actually do miracles sometimes, but when it's not possible, which means that the dress will stay like it is, the woman has to buy the dress in that case.
Do you only do clothing or also accessories?
We do clothing and accessories. Like we accepted some pair of shoes of women that wanted to rent like super high heels that were super original, but it's a bit complex in terms of cleaning and so on. And I mean, so far it's not something that we want to develop. But yeah, bags, clothes, and jewelries.
Okay, so I think there might be others, but the largest company doing what you guys are doing broadly is Rent the Runway. And I mean, they almost went bankrupt during COVID and still not profitable. They're still losing money. How do you think about the business model? What would set you apart from a Rent the Runway?
Yeah, I would really say our vision, the fact that we don't say that we are a rental service, like we are a service to consume in a clever way, let's say, so like smart fashion. So if a woman wants to buy an item because it's an item that she will wear again, then she can buy it. So we also make like nicer margins, of course, on sales. So I would say it's how you communicate and like the vision that we have that could make the difference. Like for example, at our shop, on each item you have like a price per day, and you have a retail price. So women can do whatever they want.
I think we will stop here to give some time to the rest. Thank you very much, Florian. Moving on to Sarmit from Studio Sarmit Pre-Loved.
Thank you. Hello, I am Sarmita, and I'm a material and product designer, and I'm happy today for the presentation. To introduce my project called Pre-Loved, which is a biotextile made of recycled textile fibers and natural binders. And in fact, while I talk, I brought a sample for each of you. Please pass it around and return it to me afterwards. So with our biotextile, we take a completely new approach to textile recycling. And why? I mean, we all know what's wrong with the textile industry, right? There are mountains and mountains of post-consumer textile fibers garments, that don't have any feasible ways to be recycled. And in fact, out of the 24 billion garments produced in Europe annually, we burn and throw away 3/4 of it, whereas only less than 1% we recycle into new garments. And why? Of course, because we don't have technology, and as a result, it is just cheaper to get rid of these garments. To put it in numbers, because I heard investors like numbers, we basically burn almost 100 billion euros every year in Europe. And that's a lot of money to burn. Obviously, that is a good chance for me to target the markets that need a change the most. Brands and producers in particular, who are very, very pressured these days to reduce their waste, especially within fashion industry. We can also see lots of new collaborations happening between brands and new material concepts such as Pinatex, orange fiber, and mycelium leather-like materials. But it's also the governments and the cities that need to follow up with the upcoming European regulations when it comes to textile sorting and recycling. And finally, those are the users or the consumers that do want new leather alternatives, and it's a very growing market. So what makes us special? Well, first of all, we use 100% post-consumer textile fibers and 0 virgin fibers. We work with color-separated fibers, which gives us more aesthetical value, and this is already where we match our competitors. But we go further. First of all, we're the first ones who bring post-consumer fibers back to the fashion market. We can work with any fibers, any lengths, any blends, even textile dust. And you know how small textile dust is. And that is because we are using these binders, because the binders, they act as a glue and keep it all together. And in fact, for the small but perfect funding, we are developing a unique dyeing method where we use natural dyes, and that helps us to even further add design qualities to the material. And of course, we're zero waste production. So this is how it works. We get either color-separated fibers that we card and shape them into sheets. We then add our binders. Then we send it, then it's the clients who buy these materials. They produce different products, not only fashion, but also products. And then all the leftovers come back to us, where we can dissolve the material and use it back for the production. So we don't really lose any of the fibers. And it also is the city and these textile containers that become our supply. And the good thing about our production is that it works in different models and in different scales. We can outsource our production, but we can also slowly develop our in-house machinery and scale it up. Our revenue streams are based on multiple incomes. First of all, there's the material itself. But we also noticed within our 2-year development phase that a lot of brands do want to have their own designs, for example. Or perhaps they want different compositions, so they come to us for service. And finally, we can also add textile shredding and sorting services, which is a non-existing technology. So within the 2 years of the research and development phase, we have already had a few pilot collaborations, which you can see on the photos. And we are receiving lots of interest from different kinds of markets, from automotive industry to fashion to accessories to product design. And in fact, we have already a list of people who do want to be updated about the material once we are done with the research phase. So it is us, Mara and me, 2 designers who founded the idea. And we have people who help us with advice, with the dyeing process, with the binder development, and even a national waste management company. So what we are looking for is not necessarily the financial investment. We're also very happy to connect with you because perhaps you have connections within textile industry for textile sorting, for textile recycling, for collaborations. But it's also the knowledge sharing, because we need help with business development, with technology development, and material engineering. And I go quickly. So we have mapped out our next development stage, which is we want to buy in-house development, which we estimate at these 300K. And within the 5-year development, we want to scale up and optimize. That's already it. If I skip a quick rundown, thank you.
Thank you. So your feedback?
Thank you very much. Congratulations for your presentation. I was actually about to ask you why 298 and not 300, but you had the cost breakdown there. So what are your next steps?
So the next steps after the research and development phase is really get the machinery that we need so we can produce in-house. So we realized that having the possibility to shred garments immediately in our facility and then turn them into this biotextile is key for variety. We don't depend on outsourcing partners, and we can really start more the production. Because currently there is lots of interest, we can just never match their quantities. Also because for now it's just handwork, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations on your progress. Can you talk a little bit about, you had 4 revenue streams. At what point would you develop each one? And would you just concentrate on the first one to begin with, or are you going to go after all of them?
I think as a part of the textile shredding, they would go in parallel. We do have our color collection, that is the material in our collection, but then in parallel, depending on the client, they very often come with their own textiles, with their own requirements, or with their own design language that then develops as a part of our existing collaboration. And we do have, collection, and we do have this freedom to switch between the colors that are being produced or the characters of the material.
Okay. Did you have any already sales or revenue?
No, we are still testing the price, testing the market, testing their interest, but we don't sell yet because we're in the research and development phase.
Thank you.
So, congratulations. I'm not sure I get the core of the IP. So, and I'm going to try to rephrase what I understood, and then you can correct me. So, you guys can take any kind of textile, anything from the trash can, and then there is a process by which you're going to separate colors, you're going to stick it to a binder, and then that's going to kind of transform into a new textile that can be used for new clothes. Is that correct?
Yeah, roughly speaking.
Roughly, yeah. And what's unique in that? You're the only, what's the unique IP that you guys have?
Because we bring it back to the fashion market. We bring the garment, the fibers that have been thrown out, we bring them back, and we can repeat the cycle over and over again. So instead of traditional textile recycling, where you have to separate the different blends, where you lose quality every time you shred, for us it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of blends we put together. It doesn't matter whether the quality goes down, the fibers get shorter. Of that we can repeat, and therefore we actually are our own supply, because everything that comes back to us can be dissolved and used over and over again. The same goes for the natural dyeing process. It is so efficient because it's combined with the production process. And traditionally you cannot dye polyester, for example, with natural dyes. It has a separate chemical synthetic dyeing process. But because we work with these binders, we can, because it is a combined process, so it becomes a lot more efficient and innovative and environmentally friendly.
All right. So the very unique innovation is in what you're doing is the use of the binders that allows you to kind of like going through that cycle endlessly.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's move to the next. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to ask for Sam to come forward. So Sam from the planet of grapes. Thank you.
Can I give that to you for the moment?
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
That's the material.
Hello. Okay, so that worked. Hi there. So my name's Samantha Muro, and I'm the founder of Planet of the Grapes. So what's this all about? We're creating a circular material. That means that we're taking the grape waste from my local organic vineyards in the south of France and converting them into beautiful, durable and biodegradable grape leathers for the fashion industry. So why are we doing this? Well, we know that the fashion industry is pretty disastrous when it comes to the environmental aspects. But one area that I think is particularly interesting is that, according to Ellen MacArthur, up to 95% of a product's environmental impact actually comes from the material. So if we can cut that back and help mitigate the climate or environmental impacts, that means that we're really helping designers get on and design their materials kind of guilt-free. So that means we're animal-free, that means we're petroleum plastic-free, and what is more, our supply chain is very short, very direct, and very transparent. I'll show you in a minute. The other point is that the waste of the wine industry is gigantic. They got up to 2.3 million tons of grape waste in France alone. So if we can tap into that, that's fantastic. So here's the direct supply chain that I was talking about. So we have the grape waste we collect, we process it with the raw materials, convert it into our leathers, and then from then, the designers of retailers, brands, or individual designers, they take our material, and then they create their products that they send to the end customer. So what's the opportunity here? Well, the bio-based leather market is at 645 million today, projected to increase to 864 million for 2026. So that's pretty exciting. What is more, what are the government policies that we've been hearing about today, changing what's happening in Europe in particular, and eventually the world, hopefully. Also, what's happening is the brands are having to react to this. Some are doing it on their own backs, some of them are doing it because government's saying to change. And also then we have consumers today, or the customers, that are asking for change. They want to wear and enjoy their fashion without thinking about the negative impacts. So these are our direct competitors. We've got Deserto, which is like a cactus leather, Vija, which is a grape leather, Pinatex, which is a pineapple leather. And I've mapped it out just in terms of the environmental impacts. But what's pretty interesting about them is that they've worked with brands from H&M to Zara to Nike to Stella McCartney. So all across the fashion industry at all different levels it's been used. Our KPIs are that we're still pretty small because we're in research phase, but working with local vineyards, especially with an association of 35 vineyards who just do not know what to do with their waste. So they're really excited about this. We're working with an engineering school in Lyon whose speciality is animal leather. We're excited to be here as part of the Accelerator program, and that the whole sustainability is in our DNA so we can grow up with it. Who's the team? There's me. So I'm an ex-fashion buyer and trend forecaster for international boutique companies. I worked for 17 years in the fashion industry for the likes of Topshop Arcadia Group, Limited Brands. On my advisory board, there's Agnes Thomasay, who is a chemical engineer and expert in animal leather. Her students tend to go off to Hermès LVMH, so she is brilliant, full of knowledge there. Steve Block, who is a mentor for me, he works with industrial coatings and scale up, so we're having lots of conversations there. And then go-to-market's my ex-boss of Topshop Arcadia Group, who is kind of the queen of the UK industry in terms of fashion. She's supporting this. And then Silva, who's my partner here for the Small But Perfect program. So this is the kind of what we're looking at for in terms of investment, 560,000 euros. And today we'll be looking for 150,000 to get the rigorous R&D development phase going. There we go. Any questions? Thank you.
Congratulations on your presentation. It was very structured. What are the competitive advantages over everyone else that is working not on grape leather, but on other types of non-leather leathers. I mean,
Okay, yeah, the non-leather leathers, they're plastic leathers, petroleum plastic leathers. So that's the big thing there. We just want to avoid petroleum plastics. And also our basis is waste. So we're doing something with waste. We're not just using virgin materials. So that would be our biggest advantage. And then, of course, the animal leather as well. Just with fast fashion, taking it all out of control, the negative environmental impacts that it's now having in so many different aspects, we're just avoiding that as well. So it's almost like a new generation of materials.
Doing on pricing?
Working out the pricing, and we're looking at the competitors. Talking actually Silva, who's my partner with here, because she's working in the vegan leather market. She's kind of looking at the prices as well and kind of considering how much her handbags are selling at, how much she would buy as well, what she's seeing on the market. So we're working it out like that. And then after that, what's happening is I've got to use a base material, so I need to buy that. The great waste is free today. And then to actually mix it, to bind it, that we'll need to buy as well. So I've got a cost price, which is £24. And then for now, I'm doubling it. But that would be for like a regular price, so £50 or €50 a metre. And then I want to do more luxurious ones or customised as well, leathers to work with designers and like collaborations so we can increase the selling price.
How does your pricing competes with animal leather?
Animal leather, I guess it depends on the quality. So you can get an animal leather probably very, very, very cheaply, kind of €15 a metre, right up to 120. So we're aiming for, I guess, the kind of the mid-range. We know we want to be durable. We want it to have its own characteristics as well. So I guess we're going for kind of the middle of the range and just looking at the market and what other people are doing at the moment. Okay. So now you've kind of mastered the process from getting the grape waste to getting the end material. Is that right? We've got a prototype. So here, if I hand you this is like our first prototype. Oh, you've seen it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, so
I mean, no measures to judge.
Yeah, okay, so that's the first prototype. So now going to prototype 2, which we're doing at this moment, and that should be ready in the next few months, and then we keep going.
So how far would you say you are from like being able to sell?
Yeah, actually sell, I'm predicting kind of 18 months. So what that means is the research and development phase now to get something really good, but in parallel to that, I want it to be like almost like a plug and play. That means we can go to actual factories, coating companies that are already established and use what their tech essentially. So I've got to find those companies as well who'd be willing to work with us and a small company. So we're doing it all in parallel. So I think 18 months is realistic to have something actually go to market.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, a question from the public.
I guess because it's like a leather, not necessarily washable, but we should be able to. It should be able to go out. Let's say if you have a handbag and it's in the rain, hopefully it won't turn into wine again. That's where we got to get to. We were quite nice in some aspects, but not in this one. So it would be something that would be protected in the rain, for example. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a bit sweaty.
So Christiana from NAS.
Use those 2 arrows and you're pointing there. Okay.
So hi, my name is Christiana. I'm a sustainable fashion designer from the brand NAS. We are a sustainable brand produced in Portugal and based in Portugal. We've been in the market for more than 5 years and keeping going. I was also a university teacher, and I'm also a consultant for sustainable projects in the textile area. So, sorry, I'm a bit nervous. So as you probably know, there are laws coming into effect in the... Sorry, I'm a bit foggy today. So yeah, as you know, the business landscape in Europe, it's more or less more than 90% of small and medium companies. And the laws that are coming into effect in the textile area regarding recycling and post-consumer waste are going to create a disparity between fashion giants that are able to tackle their own issue and small and sustainable brands that will not have no other solution than an opaque system that already exists that is shipping the waste to underserved communities or incinerating it, creating then negative sustainable impacts in the environment and the social areas. So we were thinking, well, as a brand, we had to create a system for ourselves, and we have recyclers in Portugal, which we partner with to create our products. But there are several other brands that will also need a solution. So we created an EPR solution for 360-degree system for smaller brands. So right now, our competitors, when we look at it, they are focusing only on one problem, and they are single branded solutions. What we aim to is to create a 360 degrees solution, focus on extending the life of the product and not only on recycling, and an open solution to every sized brand. So, well, this is our app. I created the app prototype while I had COVID, and the solution is from one side to the brands, they'll have the subscription to the EPR system. So we are going to be the ones, along with our partners in Portugal, to tackle their recycling issue, their EPR problem. For users, well, it's a free app open to a community where they can repair, resell, and then recycle, along with a gamification system that will reward them for their choices, sustainable choices. And with that, we'll also have a dashboard for brands that can actually see their progress. They can actually also market their business with our ads system, creating brand loyalty through this reward system, and also acquiring new clients. And for our recycling partners that are together in this with us, it's free waste for recycling. They are going to be, along with this new innovation system, as trailblazers in the implementation of a solution that will become standard in the upcoming years. So this is an integrated solution that will allow consumers to repair, recycle, and resell their clothes in just one place. As the brands, they will offer a 360-degree solution while only paying for the EPR mandatory system. And they will also be together in this with the retails that will also be mandatory and the industry. So we did all the calculations, and having a low estimate of having only 2.5% of this market size, which is in about 190,000 brands just in Europe, we estimate to have in 2027 420,000 active users, and our revenue streams are, well, several. On one side, we have the brand's EPR, which is mandatory, and it's usually about 2% of the revenue. So if our brands grow and if we get more brands, we'll also grow. In-app publicity, the repair system that we have, it's not the biggest part, but I think it's a really important thing, because extending the life of a product is way more important than the recycling. We'll also have the second-hand service for brands, but we also have the second-hand market inside the app. So our team, it's, well, me, my colleague Marta, she's a data analyst, and she's also the marketing team at NAS. And Sebastian, which is the Chief Information Office, he's an IT specialist helping us on that part, because that's not where we are comfortable in right now. And well, right now for the investment, we think that for the first 2 years of development of all this project, we are thinking that we need 750,000. So on one part for the development of the app, for app marketing through Europe, the logistic part, and also human resources. So the timeline for this project is this year for R&D, and next year we'll have the pilot. The brand will launch a collection that's for the recycling, and we are going to develop the service part. In 2024, we want the deployment with the app launching with 50 brands and starting with collection points just to check if everything's all right, and starting also to collecting waste because we need a lot of waste to recycle. And then in 2025, the recycling starts. We have partners along with us, like 4 companies in Portugal for the recycling that will also invest in the sorting part of the project.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's that.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
I just had a quick question. I understand how the users can find the app useful. I wasn't clear on the brand side, why a brand would use this app. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So the legislation that is coming into effect will create an EPR mandatory, like it's in cardboard or plastic, that everyone producing plastic or cardboard need to pay a tax for the recycling of their products. So that's going to become mandatory in the textile industry. We want to be the ones tackling that issue while also offering this kind of, like the app part is going to be a free thing, like 360-degree solution also to offer for their clients to small-sized brands. So we were going to be the ones recycling that. We added the app. We wanted to bring the consumer to the table for the first time in the recycling, because most of us don't know that our card producers, they pay a tax for the recycling. So we want to bring the consumer, because in fashion, mostly the user of fashion, it's very important. They just don't throw away. We need to create this communication part. So the brands are going to pay. So we are the ones offering that service. Other than that, we also offer a dashboard where they can see everything. They will receive the official document with the recycling stamp, so they can prove that they are recycling. But we are also going to offer that repair and resell and this community part as a service.
So thanks for the presentation. I have a related question. You are at the pre-launch stage, but you are building a marketplace, and I mean you have brands, you have the end users, the recycling partners, and so on, and you're trying to match everyone and offer value to everyone out of this app, platform, marketplace, or whatever we can call that. The legislation and the regulation is one part in that, of course, but I don't think that it's the only part. So when you have what I'm trying to say is that when you have a marketplace, you are facing a chicken-egg problem. So someone has to get in first in order to make the second one get in. So it's even the brands or the users and then the brands and so on. How are you foreseeing this stage?
So I think one thing that I didn't mention and that was important is the marketplace goes through us. So the client sells to us, we check if everything's all right, we photograph everything and we sell. We don't do like a vintage system. It's going to be a closed system regarding that. And in the beginning, we want to have the first brands. We want to communicate that, and also we are going to only accept in the beginning also the garments to be repaired, resold, or recycled from the brands that we have in the app. So there's going to be a brand directory. We're also adding to this, which is it's easy to add to this the QR code for the product passport. That's also going to become mandatory. So we also want to add that service. So me, Christiana, I have a garment from NAS. I check the QR code, I can see the product passport of the product, and then I can choose to repair, resell, or recycle. And then there's a gamification system around that. And if I do one of the 3 things or 4 things that I can do, I will get a reward from the brand, creating then this loyalty system, like a percentage of discount, a specific offer, this kind of system. So in the beginning, what we want is to bring 50 brands. The thing is that we are a brand, so we know the needs, and this is a really nice thing to offer as a post-sales service.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So now you've heard 5 cases from Small But Perfect. There are many more that you could meet also later on. But moving to the discussion, Dimitris, most of the guys that are here, they're interested in what is an impact investor looking for, and how do you evaluate among different opportunities?
Yes, the first thing we focus on is the purpose, the vision. We're looking for companies that are really trying to do something impactful for the society and the community in general, and we start there. Companies distinguish themselves from that. Then it's the team, and from there we start to look at whether the company can become sustainable. And finally, we look at the unit economics and how can the company scale. Those are sort of like the 4 areas we look at, and in kind of like that order of importance.
Okay, Guy, maybe you can tell us. Why is a green investment of an interest or attractive to an angel investor?
There are multiple things. The first one is that I do believe it's a very personal approach, but you get to a point where you want to invest in things that actually have a positive impact. And you just, when you have the choice, you just feel that's a better pick. That's one. But the other one, which is a little bit more cynical, is that, it's no secret things are getting worse, and at some point the only way to actually have a chance to escape a bad ending for all of us will be regulations. And when you invest into a company that is tackling a problem that at some point will be regulated, you're just investing into a growing vertical. The market is becoming bigger. So, from a pure investor standpoint, it makes sense beyond your personal, preferences.
Thank you. Dora, you're not into impact investment, Uni.fund, but still you have some impact KPIs. How is also the new that it's going to be discussed now at the next panel, the policymakers in the policy dialogue. So we have the new legislation for corporate social due diligence, and how is that impacting Uni.fund?
Yes, Uni.fund is a traditional VC, so mainly we have traditional KPIs and traditional things that we are focusing on. We look into the market size, the growth potential, and so on. However, as you also mentioned, there's legislation, there's regulation, so at the end, we are, let's say, forced, but it's not only that we are forced, it's that there's value into looking into the impact side. So we have more KPIs that are related also to environmental standards, to social, and to other parts that, for example, we look into, let's say, funding women entrepreneurs as well. We look into green technologies and ideas like these. Actually, yesterday, and I mean, all this week, I arrived last night. I was in Paris, I told you so. And I was there for the European VC, the European Human VC Summit. I'm wearing also this t-shirt. It was the first time that it took place this year. And the whole impact thing, it's really getting very, very hot. Not only in Europe, but also worldwide. So this is something that we have to take into consideration in traditional VCs as well.
Thank you. Leda, so what is the news from the Silicon Valley related to the sustainability element, and maybe more precisely to circular
I
fashion?
think we're living in schizophrenic times. Unfortunately, there is an oxymoron. This is a room full of people who believe in sustainability, in circular economy, and as Guy mentioned, this has personal impact because the planet is going to hell. At the same time, what's the news from Silicon Valley? Lots of money, tons of money, yet the interesting thing is that the money, the way it is spent and the way the consumers are viewing it, especially now as we are in Europe, we're at this stage where how many people are going to pay for the fantastic idea of, what is it called, the leather of grapes? Is the consumer going to pay the prices that they have to pay because it involves the R&D and the whole circular economy and the whole processing? When we're going through a stagflation and the economy in such a state, I'm personally wondering how this is going to work out for the average consumer out there. So yes, I agree that this is a personal impact. This is how we have to deal with the environment and all the challenges, not only it's women. Look what's happening in Iran. Look what's happening in lots of arenas, including Italy and the far right issues. This is the schizophrenic part of the investment. And commercialization is a big part of the way you do investments. Yes, there's impact, but at the same time, you have to make money. So while the investors like Guy and Dimitris are willing to invest and take the risk, the more traditional funds and the mainstream investor community will want to look at the bottom line and revenues and profits. So that's the challenge. How do you convince them? Where does the personal philosophy, and it's not only personal, it's collective, but it's people like us who are in this auditorium because we believe in what's happening here. Out there, that's my concern. What's going to happen out there? So I'm throwing it out because I don't have the answers. But that's an issue that we're all thinking about. The reality of the revenues and the bottom line and the commercialization and the money versus the collective consciousness.
I don't know if Dimitris and Guy, you want to answer something on that. So how do you juggle between that?
Look, I think there's something very interesting in what you just said. It obviously, when you go and you buy a T-shirt for €9, you're committing multiple crimes, right? And this is where money talks, really, like in a very blunt way. But I have kind of an optimist spin on all of that. I do believe it's our job, so people who have the means to fund innovation, to fund new technologies, to enable creators, innovators. And the question I was asking about how far are you from, actually producing leather from grape, is that I'd be interested in buying textile from you because I'm working on a new fashion brand and I want it to be sustainable. So I do think that suddenly, that will oblige us to truly innovate, and it's just going to be not just going to be about showering, companies with money. It's going to be about some impact investor, people who are taking a very conscious choice to just invest in that, and some kind of, maybe not visionary, but at least more conscious, more, responsible people to go and try to innovate. That will sound a little bit cheesy, but I think it's a good versus bad fight. It's a very, karma-related fight, and we just have, all of us, we have to put everything we have into being on the good side.
Yeah, I'm generally optimistic as well. We have to take it one day at a time, and we don't have to start with the average consumer. We can start a little higher up and change the mindsets there, and then it will trickle down from there. We're already seeing how Tesla did it, and I think something similar could play out in fashion as well. They started at the high end, but now they're selling into like the average consumer, and they're winning.
Thank you. So back to you guys. Any questions related to your? Yeah, please.
Thank you, guys. That was really interesting. And to everyone in the SBB,
if you can also tell us what's your...
I just thought I'd say thank you. I'm Jenny, and I'm from the brand Eva Mosso. We do sustainable activewear, and we're with the Small But Perfect to try and design a circular legging, so either biodegradable or recyclable. My question was, I guess, maybe to the investors, just because that is a hot topic for a small business who needs cash, are you specifically looking for a type of business to invest in at the moment, or a type of person or an industry within, or a sector within the fashion industry that you're actively trying to find to invest in? Would be my question, actually. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the question. Personally, I'm looking into everything I can understand, and everything I think brings real innovation to the table. So, for example, I'm way less attracted to new business models, because I don't think they bring much to the table, and I don't think that's, a true sustainable innovation. Anything that has to do, the example of producing textile from waste, I think is tremendously interesting. But I also look into companies that are laser focused. Whenever I see a company that is looking at different business model, trying to do different things, most of the time I steer away. Whenever it's that simple, it's very, very focused, and it's a very clear plan, I find myself writing a check.
Yeah, we're also just starting out, so we're not focusing. We're looking at everything. We do have a focus to Greece. We're trying to support the circular economy here in Greece with companies that are mobilizing first in Greece. So,
when it comes to circularity, what is it that you feel it's more impactful, or what, building on the question of Jenny, what would be more attractive? Because we see that circularity is many things. It's from materials to brand, to recycling, upcycling, technology.
I think it's all the above. It comes down to, in the opportunities that we look at, it's what will have the biggest impact of reducing waste.
Okay, reducing waste.
Reducing waste, yeah.
At the end, investors are opportunistic. I mean, we work in an opportunistic way. So I completely agree with Guy, because yes, we look into things that we can understand, things that can bring value, and are laser focused, because they need to be laser focused in order to get value. And we need to understand them in order to be able to invest into them. So I think this summarizes everything.
Thank you. Any other question? Yes? So it's Guy, and I've been calling you Guy.
Hi. My name's Carrie. I have a business called One Essentials, and we have a fully circular clothing brand. I'm interested to learn a bit from an investor perspective around the difference between owned IP and shared IP. So as a business, we work with some innovative fibre partners, but they own the IP to the fibre and the textiles. We just use it as part of our business and brand. So I'm interested to learn a little bit more about where you perceive value as an investment on owned IP versus sharing IP in a collaborative circular economy. But also I'd like to learn a little bit more about what you guys feel in terms of investment in retail business models overall and where you see those opportunities going forward in a difficult retail landscape.
So a few years ago, I will just have answered that I'm really interested into proprietary IP that can scale, not interested into retail, not interested into these kind of things. And I found myself, I did 2 investments that were what I called friendship tax. So I had friends and they needed an investment. And they ended up being my 2 best investments ever. So first of all, that doesn't make me a very skilled investor. But I kind of discovered that it doesn't work the same way. So the unit economics are not going to look the same. You don't have the same logic when you invest. So you're not looking at, maybe such a long return, the same kind of multiples. There are a lot of different things that work differently. But I'm personally interested also in, if you're building a clothing brand that relies exclusively on textiles that come from the circular economy, you don't have that IP. But what you're developing a brand that is based on kind of this, mission-based approach where you're building a community, you're building a following of customers that want to kind of come with you with that. And you're also, you're kind of learning how to properly use these textiles and price them in the way that is accepted by the market. You're still developing something. It's just not valued the same way. So a few years ago, I would just have told you that, I'm not interested in that at all. Experience just showed me that it can be very valuable, and now I'm also looking at it.
I have a kind of a controversial view on this. I generally don't value the IP as much. I look at the ability of the entrepreneur to develop a brand, and I think the brand and the ability to really scale the brand is more important. You could have like an IP, if you can't really market it or get it out there, it's useless.
In our case, we look into 3 things. So we have the team, so the entrepreneurs, the market. We need a big market size in order to make sense for us to invest, and also the product itself. In our mandate, we focus on deep tech cases and so on. However, especially in your first investments, you need to get close to people that can understand your business and can value your business and can support your business as well. So it makes real sense to try to identify the right investor, because investment is not only about money. Investment, at least at your early stages, is about the whole guidance, the whole mentoring thing, and the whole business value that an investor can add into your business. So it really makes sense to get close to people that are in this sector that you are, for example, retail or whenever.
I just wanted to say something. How many of you know the ad by Steve Jobs and Mac? Here's to the crazy ones, the ones with Gandhi and Maria Callas and all these crazy people who want to change the world. So I just wanted to say that there's an element of craziness, innovation, the curiosity to do things differently, to do things better. So that emotional connection of what Dora and Guy and Dimitris have said about how they evaluate the team and how they work and what the product or the service is all about, it's extremely important, because this is how the world will change.
Thank you. Any other question? So maybe a last statement about circular fashion and about those entrepreneurs that are here today, maybe some advice. All
right. So first of all, I think you're doing something that has a mission, and that's to I believe that's the right place to be today. So you should go on. The most important advice I could ever give is to focus. You really, really need to pick your battles. You're at a very early stage. It can be very tempting to, just keep hedging. So having like 5 sources of revenue, doing a lot of different things, and just saying if one doesn't work, the other will. In my view and my personal experience, that's the biggest mistake you can ever make. Going all in one single laser focus direction will allow you to learn, to pivot, to understand what doesn't work well, and adjust along the way. That can be, the single most important advice I can share.
I'm also impressed of what I've seen today here, so congratulations to you all and to the ones that did not pitch today. What I have to say is that I also heard to that before, I'm not sure from who, is that you said we are testing now, we're not selling. Yes, but trying to sell is the biggest test, the most important test that you will have to get through. That's everything from my side.
Just do it, okay?
Just go ahead and do it.
I echo everything that was said. You already have an edge because you're working on a mission other than just making money, and focus is super important. But also find a team of people. Don't go on the journey on your own. I see some solo entrepreneurs, and I think that's really hard. Find a team of people that you like to work with and go on this journey together.
Thank you very much. So a very big thank to our panel. Thank you very much for joining us today. And if you could stay a moment, take some minutes outside at the yard to visit the rest of the team at the exhibition, we would love that. Thank you very much.